Guys of a Certain Age is brought to you by no one. Absolutely no one. Except these dudes walking down memory lane. Now let's head to the studio to see what they misremember next.
As the leaves are falling, so is the podcast. It's Guys of a Certain Age. Robbie Koblenz in studio alongside
Art Shirley.
And Jay Reed.
Have you fallen and can't get up?
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Boy, you know, the guys who came up, or girls, the people will be generic, who came up with that campaign, they had no idea
how
that
iconic is good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's very, very iconic. You know, I remember when Mark was little and he told Bonnie that it was Life Alert, right? It's like, well, Mommy, you need this. It's Wife Alert. It's Wife Alert.
That's too funny.
It's like, actually, that would be for me, Mark, so that I would know.
That's right. That's right.
Of course, my wife's not listening at this point. Jay, are you with us?
My mom has
I'm
one
not
of
your
those.
wife. I am listening.
Yeah. Your mom what?
My mom has one of those Life Alert things, but she never wears it. It's always sitting on the table somewhere.
You know, I've thought, as I'm working out at the cabin, like bush hogging in the middle of the woods, what would happen if something, horrible?
Yeah.
Well, now they have. I was looking at Apple Watches recently, and if you compare what you pay for a Life Alert, for that one button that you have to wear, compared to something like an Apple Watch, which now can detect if you've fallen.
The fall
It's been able to do that, I think. Maybe
like
not since
5
the
or 6 versions.
Yeah. Mine does that. Mine's very old.
Well, that and the EKG and the OT sensor, all that
and
kind
all
of stuff is coming out.
Yeah.
So really, I mean,
it's like having a tricorder on your wrist.
It really does make a lot. And of course, there's also it'll make a call for you.
Okay.
So,
that's right. That's what the guy was telling me. I'm still waiting on mine. It's been delayed.
Your watch? You're getting an Apple Watch?
Yep.
What are you getting?
An Apple Watch.
SE.
Okay, SE.
Yeah.
He got it from a C-Spire deal, right?
He did, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Let's see. Yeah, we needed to do that. Did you get an iPhone 16 as well?
They didn't have any. My phone is kind of on the cusp of needing to be replaced, so I talked to him, and he said Christmas might have better deals, and there might actually be phones available.
Okay, maybe I can wait till Christmas then, because mine is well beyond the cusp.
And it made you cuss.
Yeah,
It's beyond the cusp.
On the cusp of needing a new phone.
So what do you have now?
I have an 11.
Well, see, I have an SE phone, too.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, you guys are so far behind. Yeah.
Rotary dial, right?
I still have a home button.
Oh, yeah, me too.
Yeah.
No, I don't. No,
I don't.
I'm thinking about mothers, yeah.
I'm going to miss that.
Yeah, I don't have a home button. So.
You'll get used to it.
So
that's what people tell me.
All right, let's jump into Geeks of the Week. But was it last week that we talked about the Pizza Hut in Australia?
Yeah, must have been, because I wasn't here.
Yeah. So recap your geek real quick.
So it's a Venom Pizza Hut collab, but only Venom the movie in Australia. And so they've got 4 dishes, I think wings, mac and cheese, pizza, and breadsticks, where they drizzle this black aioli on it, and it looks like Venom goo. Mm-hmm. So we put out the challenge. I'll let Robbie.
We put out the challenge to any listeners in Australia, and when that came back vacant, I texted a buddy of mine, Steve Griffiths, who's actually been on the podcast. He was on one of the early episodes. He's a huge Doctor Who fan.
That's right.
He happens to be in Australia, and so he sent this on the ground report.
So I'm outside a Pizza Hut store in Sydney, Australia, and you may ask why. The team at Guys of a Certain Age have tasked me with purchasing a pizza from Pizza Hut because apparently this particular pizza is only available in Australia. It's a Venom pizza based on the look and feel of the Venom films, and while I'm dubious, I'm giving it a go, and I'll be back to you shortly. Okay, I'm back with the pizza. And it comes in a lovely box branded with the black and white Venom logo. So let's just give it a go, and I will let you know what it tastes like. Okay, to be fair, I really thought this was going to be worse than it is. It's not too bad. I was worried that the black aioli would taste disgusting, but I don't really even notice it. Hell of a lot of meat, though. It's got bacon rashers, honey ham, pepperoni, Italian sausage, and beef. Not a vegetable to be seen. Nothing green or orange on this pizza. But yeah, it's okay. So I thought I'd get a second opinion, and Renata here is working late tonight with me as well, so she is going to give you her thoughts on the Venom pizza.
The pizza looks quite lovely, nice and shiny.
Do you really want your pizza to look shiny?
Not really.
Do you think it's missing some vegetables?
You never need vegetables with pizza. It just tastes like a Supreme, just with some black stuff on top.
Now, the reason I'm reporting on this particular pizza is because it's only available in Australia, and my American friends are very disappointed in that. Do you think it's worth flying out to Australia to have?
No, I would not feel disappointed at all to have some squiggly black stuff on your pizza that doesn't taste like anything.
Well, there you go. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Steve
That's awesome.
Griffiths. We
That's
have
really
a
cool.
correspondent.
That's right.
Wow, that's great.
Folks in the field.
Yeah, that's
Down
right.
under.
Well, Jay,
It completes me.
I'm going to have to let Steve know that.
Yeah.
Of course, he's asleep now. He's Australian.
Well, if I get that kind of feedback on this week's Geek, I'll really be impressed.
Yeah, well, so, I mean, would you fly to Australia,
No.
Jay, just for the black aioli?
I want to go to Australia, but not for that.
Yeah.
Not for that, but that could be an extra. I loved how he called it rashers of bacon.
I know. I thought that was funny too. Yeah.
Yeah, and honey ham on pizza.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That might
Well,
probably
that's
be
gonna
pretty
be
good.
good.
Yeah, honey ham with pineapple would probably be great. So,
But I wonder why it's only in Australia though.
I don't know.
It's,
That was never explained because I saw it and I thought, oh, cool, I'm going to go get one of these. And then it said .au after it.
and is the movie out? Venom?
That I'm not sure.
It's not out yet.
I didn't think it was.
You know, there's rumors that there may be an Andrew Garfield cameo in it.
Okay.
So, but that has not been substantiated yet. So,
Okay.
but anyway, thank you, Steve.
That's awesome. That was really cool.
Yeah, that was great.
Now, when you first, I was thinking it was Venom, thinking of Australia, and they have the most poisonous and venomous, creatures of anywhere. And I was thinking, is that what you were talking
Maybe.
about? Was it a poison pizza? Apparently not. So, good.
no. So,
You might want to check in with Steve, though, in a couple of days just to make sure he's still
Yeah, I'll
okay.
text him in a little bit and say,
has
hey,
it turned into some type of
Yeah.
symbiote? Or,
yeah, have you got this black goo
Yeah,
crawling
that's
over
right.
you? So we'll find out. And thank you.
Renata's missing.
And thank you, Renata, for jumping in. So they both are they're colleagues at I think the ABC in Australia, Australian Broadcasting Company. Steve does what I do.
Okay,
so
good deal.
He's much better at it,
Yeah.
I'm sure. So, but anyway, let's jump into current geeks. Art, you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. It's kind of a different thing. I'll actually go first this time. James Gunn has posted a picture that is making a viral sensation across the internet, as these things do. It's from the upcoming Superman Legacy movie, and it shows.
It's no longer Superman Legacy.
Oh, is it not really?
No,
I
they
missed
dropped
that.
Legacy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Have they dropped Superman?
Maybe.
Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just soups.
Soups.
Yeah.
Soups and friends.
Yeah.
The Super Friends. Hey.
Hey, there you go.
Anyway, it's a picture of Superman and his dog Krypto sitting on the moon looking out over the Earth. And it's actually from an image from one of the comics. And I think it may be from Man for All Seasons or Superman for All Seasons, rather. I'm not sure which one it's from. But it's a great looking picture. I mean, it's really, it's kind of cool, as people do. There's a lot of hate on it already. And one of the main things people are upset about is the breed of dog that Krypto is.
Really?
Yeah. And this is one of the things that bothered me about it. I went, wait a minute, that's not what Krypto looks like. They've got him as a shaggier dog as opposed to a very short-haired dog. He always looked like a terrier of some kind to me, like a bull terrier. But they say, and they've never really officially said what breed he is. And, of course, he's Kryptonian, so, he wouldn't be necessarily a dog here. But they say he's more like a Labrador Retriever than any other kind of dog. And so it has that short hair where this dog has, kind of longer hair. He's not shaggy like, St. Bernard is, but he certainly has longer hair, more like a Cocker Spaniel or, again, some type of terrier, one of those Welsh Terrier or something like that.
Oh, sure.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know. You Kryptonian, Kryptonian version of that. I don't think they have Wales in Krypton.
They don't have anything
anymore. That's right. That's right. But anyway, his idea is that this is going to be a return to the fun of Superman. Kind of getting away from what Snyder said. And of course, a lot of people that are big Zack Snyder fans really do not like this whole direction that things are going. So that's good. But I think we can excuse the dog. There was a version of the dog that looked like that, but it was kind of a fake crypto at one point, but or an Elseworlds crypto. But I think we can excuse that. I think the movie's going to be a lot of fun. I'm open to seeing what they do with it.
And I loved his message because he talked about he and his wife adopting a dog.
Yeah.
They rescued a dog from a shelter, and just that as he was starting to write the Superman script. His dog was, as puppies do when they come home, or somewhat of a terror. And in the case of Jay's dog, it's still a terror and not a puppy.
Yeah.
But
We're
anyway.
changing his name to Klepto, by the way.
Klepto, that's great.
Yeah, he's a
But
maniac.
it does humanize Superman. I mean,
Yeah.
I think that's one of the things that kind of makes him even more relatable. And
Yeah.
I think that's an important part of Superman's story that has been left out. I don't think we've seen a crypto. There have been a couple of cryptos. I think Smallville had maybe some kind of dog that was supposed to be crypto, but didn't look at all like crypto.
That
We've
was
seen
kind
them
of
in
the whole
animated things. Yeah,
it was kind of the whole thing with Smallville. They had the Wonder Twins that didn't really look like the Wonder Twins.
That's
and
right.
Brainiac didn't really look like Brainiac.
Green Arrow just had like a hoodie or something. I think Aquaman had just like an orange T-shirt or something. Yeah.
And Jor-El was the voice of General Zod from Superman 2.
Oh, that's right. He sure was. Yeah, that's
yeah.
right. That's right.
So, but anyway, yeah.
Okay.
We digress. Jay, do you have a geek?
I do, yeah. This is from kind of going back 20 years ago, 20 plus. The
Now we're back to
Concorde.
the old Jake.
Yeah, we're back to the old and new today. The Concorde was basically, shut down. The really, really fast supersonic plane.
And the Concorde was the supersonic plane that went from London to New York in
Like 3.5 hours.
Yeah. And
or Paris to New York.
Yeah.
So that was shut down. I was reading this because of price and everything. It's like $10,000 to fly.
It was also the star of a Doctor Who episode called Time Flight.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah.
It's also one of the airport movies, Airport 79 or the Concorde.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
And there was the flight of the Concordes. No.
That's a different thing.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jay.
So now, in the next 10 years or so, there's a company called Venus Aerospace that is working on the first hypersonic jet that will take you from London to New York. And it says in 1 hour. When I read actually on the the Venus Aerospace website, they're estimating 2 to 2.5 hours Europe to New York on this hypersonic jet. And I don't know anything about hypersonic engines or
That
whatever.
means faster than sound.
Okay, well, they make it out like they kept emphasizing that it was a reusable engine. So I don't know if that's something in the past that has been destroyed in use, like a space rocket kind of thing that is disposed of, like a booster or something. But anyway, they're saying in the 2030s they're about to test it or in the process of testing it. No word on how much it will cost, but they did use the word cost effective. So we'll see how that.
I don't know that I want a hypersonic jet to go on the cheap. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Well, which one of the astronauts turned to the other as they're about to launch off and said, "You realize we're sitting on something that was built by the lowest government contract"?
Yeah, I don't know who that was.
Yeah, I'm just anyway.
Now the only thing this just popped up in my feed, and it's on a Instagram page called Wasted, and there's a picture of Jackie Chan with a very confused look. So, but I did go to the Venus Aerospace website, and I mean, I think it is legit.
The algorithm is working for Jay.
Yeah, something. I hardly see any of my friends anymore.
Yeah,
on Instagram. But anyway, yeah. So hypersonic, just in my ever going series of human flight, from the jetpack to the hypersonic jet, I'll try to stay on.
So it goes from 20 years ago to now. What we need to do is find somebody, one of our friends who actually flew on a Concorde.
I know of no one.
I don't know of no one either.
I don't know anyone.
So maybe there's someone out there who can send us a little little video or audio of.
Tell us about how it was when you were in the Concorde. So, all right. My geek is kind of interesting. I can't remember if I've done this yet or not. So tell me if you've heard this before. Jay, tell me if you've heard this before, because it's going to be brand new to Art, regardless of where I've said it before or not. So there is 4 collectors of Star Wars memorabilia. Did we talk about this? That they're going to bring their collections together and make a Star Wars memorabilia museum.
I don't believe we've talked about this.
Okay.
In
I was
San
going to say
Francisco.
I am drawing a blank. So.
In San Francisco. So there are 4 huge private collections of Star Wars stuff, and they're planning on merging it and to create a nonprofit museum that would display the items to the public for the first time ever.
Wow.
It's going to be dubbed the Saga Museum of Star Wars Memorabilia. So the envisioned super collection would see the largest trove, which is Petaluma's Rancho Obi-Wan, so it's in Petaluma, California, combined with Kansas City's Smithsonian, the Smithsonian, and 2 collections in the Seattle area, the Baba Cabana and the Imperial Archives.
So are these already...
These are private collections
Okay, so
that
they're
folks
not
have
4
named.
different museums. They just name their collection.
That's right.
Okay.
So, and the quote is from Steve Sansweet, who's the owner of Rancho Obi-Wan. "We're all childless and we're all getting up there in age." He's 79.
Wow.
And he said that of himself and his fellow collectors. He estimated he has 400,000 plus movie relics. So probably 50 more things than Jay's got in his collection. So
They didn't contact you?
yeah. So he's got
Jerry Rice wasn't in Star Wars.
he's got original set pieces. He's got concept art. I mean, the whole kit and caboodle.
Wow.
So, quote continues: "We've all wondered about what's going to happen with our collections when we're no longer here because they don't have kids to fight over it."
Yeah.
So,
I think if I had a collection, I would name it Jabba's Hut.
Ah.
well, that's interesting.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
I do
So-
have a collection, but it's...
So if the museum, if fully realized, would bring together more than 1.5 million Star Wars items, relics stretching back a half a century. Think about that. 1.5 million Star Wars items.
Okay, so when the first movie come out?
77.
77. And
May, Memorial Day weekend, 77. I was there.
Okay,
Well, I was there
so
3 weeks later.
23 years was 24, 47 years ago.
Yeah.
And he's 79, so he was 30.
29.
Huh?
79 subtract 50 would be 29, so he was in his mid-30s. When
Early. Okay, so he
yeah.
was an early adopter.
Yeah. So they're looking
As an
around for the right fit, but they would like to. San Francisco's kind of where they want to, be. But their follow-up locations are L.A., Las Vegas, Seattle, Chicago, Dallas, Boston, and New York. So anyway, how cool
I
is
think
that?
Vegas would be a good place for
I
something
think
like
Vegas
that.
would be great, but San Francisco is great because it's it's adjacent to Marion County where Skywalker is, and I think Vegas would be awesome. Chicago would be a cool place to do it. Chicago has a Sith-like imperial feel to it, so because of the architecture. But anyway, yeah, I thought that would be pretty interesting.
Yeah, I'd like to go see it.
Yeah, I mean, Jay, do you have enough to set up your own?
Star Wars? No.
Jabba's Hut.
Yeah. Jabba's Hut would be very small.
Yeah, Jabba's Hut would be very, very small. All right, so
That's my Jabba accent.
it was.
I don't know what that was.
That was not a Jabba accent. So, have you got your little thing there?
Yeah, I do.
So now it's time for
Jay's regrettable segment. Yes, Jay's regrettable segment. How about a practice? Is brought to you today by Life Alert. Life Alert. So after this podcast, you've fallen and you will not be getting up.
amen to that. So, all right, Jay, what you got this week?
This week I have the Fab Four. And it's
I feel like I've heard of those people
Not
before.
the Beatles. No, not the Beatles. These
What time period are we in now?
We are in January of 1967 specifically, just a few months before my birth. This was a Dell product, Dell Comics. This one, I don't know. I hate to say this one's kind of odd because I think I've said that before with these. The gist of this is you have four teenagers by the names of Danny, Reb, Tom, and Polly, and they're teenagers on a visit to the Dell Hall of Heroes. So it's like Dell within a Dell.
Okay.
It's a museum in the comic devoted to comic book heroes of the same
Meta,
comic.
is that what we'd call that now?
Meta?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Isn't that what you call something that's kind of a story inside a story?
Oh, maybe. Yeah. So we got this going on, and there's an explosion, a science explosion is how it was worded.
A science
explosion.
Okay.
In a nearby laboratory, and it basically allows these 4 teenagers' minds to enter the android bodies of the museum displays.
Okay.
What?
So the minds, so basically, what's the word? Animates these androids with the minds. Now, there's no mention of where the bodies
That's
of the
what I was.
actual
That's
teenagers
exactly what I was going
are.
to ask. Do they just die?
Yeah, where are they? No, they go back and forth.
Now, were these existing Dale heroes?
You tell me.
Okay.
So Reb becomes a guy named Crispy. He's
Crispy.
Cryogenic powers. I kind of got Mr. Freeze vibes with that. Tom turns into High. He has hypersonic powers. The powers were not described very well.
Yeah.
So I'm just letting with that.
None of these sound familiar.
This is even worse. Danny turns into L, and it's EL, but it's because he has an L on his outfit. It has something to do with laser.
Okay.
But again,
Is there
no
a shape
description.
of an L on his forehead?
A loser.
Well, yeah. So, and then Polly turns into polymer Polly, and it does say she's able to weave nearly unbreakable polymer strands.
Sounds like the Metal Man kind of.
So
Yeah,
you kind of
it
have
does,
the same kind of Fantastic Four, 3 guys and a girl in a pizza place or whatever. But yeah, they tour around, and whenever they find trouble, they do whatever they need to enter the minds of these androids. So I guess the museum is traveling because it seems to be nearby.
Okay.
Whenever they find trouble, their enemies were nemesis, somebody named the Clown, Johnny Boom Boom, Mr. Nut.
We don't do those type of things on our show. We don't talk about those type.
The mad modernist architect, Mr. Nut, Nepto the Shark Man, a brutal and ever burning, I didn't see that earlier, giant called the Coal Man. That explains why it's called the Coal Man, because he's ever burning. They only lasted about 4 issues, and that might have been 3 too many.
Yeah, no kidding.
So, anyway, the Fab 4.
Let me see a picture. I'll see what they look like. I'm sorry we can't share this.
Yeah, they don't, it doesn't look terrible. It's just...
Just terrible.
Just weird.
It's just terrible. I would say regrettable.
I'm going to give it a
I'm going
thumbs
to go
down.
regrettable too.
Yeah, for sure. Not much redeemable here.
That's
What do we
funny.
decide was going to be our middle ground? We had a middle ground. We
Oh,
knew
I
it was
can't
just you and
remember.
me. So whether it's
Redeemable?
regrettable, maybe redeemable.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
that was.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I don't think this is.
No.
This is pure regrettable.
Yeah,
No.
yeah.
Regrettable, not regrettable, and then redeemable, thinking that we ran something that, maybe if you did this, we might get
Right,
this.
exactly.
Maybe it was if Zack Snyder got a hold
Yeah.
of it, so snapped a few heads off. So, all right.
Shaggy dog in it would be good.
Oh, there you go. Roll. So, all right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back in just a minute. Oh, we're back. Did that sound like a howl?
It did. I
It
thought
did.
we were going to do Werewolves in London all of a sudden.
Oh, Werewolves in London. Warren Zevon.
Uh-huh.
So, we are going to talk wolves, not werewolves, but the new Apple TV Plus movie with George Clooney and Brad Pitt,
Right.
which
Not
is
wolves.
It's
wolves. Which I kind of
you need to clean that mic off now after
We
that.
need to replace that cover.
Yeah, we probably do. So, it's kind of the spiritual follow up to Ocean's 13, I guess it would be.
It felt very much like an Ocean's movie.
It did.
Uh-huh.
And though we never know the name of the characters, you realize that,
Yeah,
right?
that's right. I'd forgotten
Yeah, even
that.
in IMDb, it's Pat's man and Margaret's man.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
But just a fun
Just
2
an
hour
enjoyable
movie.
thing. Sure
Yeah.
was. I know. I've seen some people say, "Oh, didn't have this, didn't have that." It wasn't supposed to. It was supposed to be something that you just kind of enjoyed.
It's kind of a slice of life, real time happens
Yeah,
across a
uh-huh.
couple of hours. And I think who directed it? Do we know who directed it?
I don't know.
John Watts. Does that sound familiar? I read something saying that they pulled him, that he left the Fantastic Four movie
Yeah,
to do this.
Yeah,
Okay.
He's
Interesting.
done. John Watts has done a couple superhero things.
Spider-Man.
That's right. That's right. And he did Spider-Man, and what else did he do?
And it was supposed to, it never had a theatrical release, right?
No.
No, but I read that when they were pitching it to the different streaming services, they chose Apple because there was an opportunity to maybe get a limited theatrical release.
Yeah,
through
and I would
Wow.
imagine it would be an Oscar contender. So,
You think?
it's Clooney and it's Pitt. I mean, you know how easy it is to get an Oscar nomination these days. I mean, you're getting 10 Best Picture nods. You know, if you get a adapted screenplay or something, you're an Oscar nominee. So, I mean, I've got Emmy nominations. Okay, the bar's pretty low these days.
I tell you who, to me though, Clooney and Pitt were great. I mean, their chemistry is so good. We said it was a spiritual successor to the Ocean's movie, but also got a lot of Butch and Sundance from it.
Oh, sure.
Paul Newman and Robert Redford. But the guy that played the kid in it was so good. I thought he was very good.
Yeah.
And
he definitely
there might have been a supporting actor kind of thing for him, or I know that's not a best newcomer, and he may not be a newcomer. I've just never seen him before.
So the premise, not to give anything away, it's about two cleaners who arrive moments apart to clean up
like fixers.
They're not fixers, they're cleaners.
They call them fixers in the movie.
They can be fixers, but
synonyms, I think, is what we're talking about here.
So they're guys who show up to dispose of a body and clean up a crime scene so that the person there who survives does not get implicated.
And not like Serve Pro. They're going to clean it up so there's no tracing back to whoever was involved in the thing.
Yeah. And so to me, one of the interesting things is if you go back to Pulp Fiction, the fixer, the cleaner in Pulp Fiction, played by Harvey Keitel, his name was Mr. Wolf.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So I've wondered if this is kind of a callback to.
I think it was actually.
So, but
this is something I read in the trivia on IMDb.
Now, is this based on a book or anything? Or is it just all original screenplays? You may know.
I think it's an original screenplay. I mean, Jay's got all the answers. He's corrected me 3 times already.
I saw nothing about it being a book.
I think it is just original screenplay. Yeah. And it was like I said, it was an interesting story. I mean, it just was the whole thing. I thought they did really well.
I think I was a little disappointed, but I think part of it was when I already kind of wanted to watch it, and then y'all brought it up, and then I was just reading the description to kind of get an idea of the story, and I expected it to be much more serious than it was. And so I think I went into it thinking it was going to be
it's
a
George
lot more
Clooney
action.
And Brad Pitt.
Yeah, but they've done stuff like that before. I just expected it to be more action, maybe with a little humor thrown in, but it was kind of like humor or almost like a buddy movie with a little action thrown in.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, it was enjoyable. I just was a little disappointed. I
enjoyed the way they poked fun at their age. The whole trying to kneel down and get up and the pain, and then when they both had to break their reading glasses out at one point. That was just real. There was some nice touches to that, I thought.
Yeah, and throughout, I'll try not to spoil, but throughout the movie, they kept thinking, they were so lone wolves, and turned out they weren't.
Yeah, they had a lot in common
in many cases,
and they each thought they were the best, and they were a little hurt that someone thought somebody else was
the best.
Yeah, and Clooney with his back, and it was quite fun. So,
I thought was it Pam Ryan?
Yeah,
the actress that started it out. Yeah, that was I thought they kind of wasted her. Like
she's the one that played Holly on The Office.
Amy Ryan.
Yeah, and she was in.
That's the one thing I've read
in the building too.
Yeah, and she's back this season.
Okay,
she's made some appearances in this season too.
I just I really like her, and I felt like somehow
I thought she would have a bigger role to play that might come down the line.
Yeah,
again, spoiler alert. Sorry. But that's a criticism I read too. But sometimes they'll do that to kind of mislead you. They'll put some
bait and switch.
Yeah, and you're thinking, okay, well, this person's going to have something to do with this down the line, and then they never even.
Kind of like Carrie-Anne Moss from The Acolyte.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
Sorry, you're not expecting the kid.
No,
young man to have as large a role as he is either.
Yeah. Now, one thing is the trailer, and this is what we started doing. We'll watch a trailer and then we'll stop because we can say, okay, they're showing us too much. Kind of get an idea whether we want to watch it or not. But they did show some things in the trailer that I think they probably should have left out because they kind of paid off to what was going to happen.
Okay.
But it like I said, I certainly enjoyed the whole movie. and the scene that they show in the trailer is when he is loading the body onto the luggage cart.
Yeah.
And they're talking about, he goes, you thought that was cool. You got to admit they thought that was cool. And it was cool. The way it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah. All the ways to move a body.
Yeah. It was good. And somebody had to think of that. That was kind of a neat way to do that.
So Brad Pitt and George Clooney were each paid, I think, $30 million apiece.
Wow, really?
30?
30. Wow. And then Watts was paid $15 million to direct. And there was a bidding war on this puppy. See what I did there, puppy, wolf, kind of canine-like. So it was a bidding war between Apple TV Plus, Amazon MGM, Annapurna Pictures, never heard of that, Lionsgate, Metro Golden Mayer, also known as MGM, which is different than Amazon MGM Studios.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I didn't either until this. Netflix, Sony, Universal, and Warner Brothers all bid on it. Apple TV Plus. One out.
Well, that may have been kind of the backstory of what I was reading. So Apple, part of the winning the war may have been that Apple promised a theatrical option.
So, I thought it was kind of fun. I enjoyed it. I would probably may watch it again.
Yeah, we got rid of Apple TV right after we watched it, but Silo's coming on next month, so we'll be getting it back. So I may watch it again.
I will tell you what I'm watching on Apple TV Plus. Not to completely pivot off, but to pivot a little bit. It's the new Kate Blanchett. Disclaimer.
Yeah, is that good?
Oh my. Okay, so Mrs. Reed doesn't need to watch it. I'm going to tell you that right now. But you have 3 stories they're showing you in parallel in 3 different times. And it's pretty amazing. It's Alphonse Cuarón directing
Gravity.
it. Yeah, Gravity. Et Mama, Tambien.
Yeah.
He did which Harry Potters? He did
the third one.
He was
third and fourth.
He was credited with kind of growing up the Harry Potter franchise. He's phenomenal. He's such a great. He did Children of Men.
I was going to say that's what kind of his first big thing.
It was Children of Men. So, but it's fabulous. It's absolutely fabulous. It is a little hard to decipher, and the way he wrote it and directed it. Okay. And so it's pretty intense in places, but it's pretty amazing so far. It's got Sacha Baron Cohen in it, and like an amazing serial role. I feel so bad for him with what happens to him. So, but you got Kevin Kline.
Yeah, I knew there was somebody else in there.
So I mean, it's great. I mean, it will get Emmy nominations for limited series.
Well, when we go back to Apple TV, we'll have to look at that.
Yeah,
too.
yeah, and Silo's coming soon, like you said.
That's I'm sure we'll definitely re-up for that.
Yeah,
but I mean, I would like to see. I don't know if we'll see a continuation of these characters, but I would like to see Clooney-PItt do something. Again,
their chemistry is so good. Yeah.
Now, did y'all watch The Instigators with? Have y'all seen that with Matt Damon and Casey Affleck?
No.
Two
is that
people
pretty good?
I haven't seen it, and I'm wondering because now it was a series.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I think it's maybe it is a movie.
It showed up when I was looking.
I think it is a movie
on IMDb. It was listed like it was the first movie underneath. You might also like.
Yeah. And we didn't watch that, so I may have to watch that if we re-up as well. I just was curious if either one of y'all had seen it because they're also from the Oceans stuff too.
True.
So
yeah. They should just get them all together. There needs to be an Ocean's 14. Ignore the Sandra Bullock where George Clooney's character.
Well, I mean, you could easily have him have faked his death. I think they really should. I think they should have ended that with him having faked his death anyway.
I mean, just like Batman at the end of The Dark Knight Rises.
I think have George Clooney come back as Batman rather than Danny Ocean.
But he did.
Oh, that's right.
He did. At the end of the
I
Flash.
mean, the Oceans thing. I think he should just play Batman forever.
That was Val Kilmer. Dang it! Come on. We can't return to that one. Ouch. Anyway, Jay, you still with us?
I'm with you. I just can't keep up.
You just can't keep up. It's early in the morning for Jay. Yeah. Or maybe it's late at night for Jay. We don't know.
Yeah.
So is Wolves regrettable? Wolves.
Uh-huh.
Is it regrettable, not regrettable, redeemable? Do we recommend said movie?
recommend said movie. Jay's going to go.
I recommend it.
What? With reservations.
I was disappointed, but not so disappointed.
Did we overhype it to you? Did we overhype it to you?
No, you didn't really hype it. You just said, "Hey, it's a good movie," and I was already planning to watch it.
That was more than you said.
Yeah,
it's not a good movie.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Let's ask the other part of the question: did your spouses enjoy it?
Yeah, Becky liked it a lot.
Bonnie loved it.
Melissa fell asleep about a third of the way in.
So
she said, I'll watch it later. You keep going. I'm like, because I'd already told this is research for the podcast. I got to finish this. And she's like,
how often do you use that? It's research for the podcast.
A lot, actually.
She's never going to check up on it. So
you mind if I finish this Sweet Tooth episode?
Because it's for the podcast.
That's right.
It's for the podcast. Yeah, for the brand. Speaking of for the podcast, Jay got to meet one of our avid listeners, Cody Perk.
Oh.
So we call him Perkinson. So, but anyway.
Sign autographs?
I tried. I offered. I didn't have a Sharpie handy.
It was a little awkward. He's like, no, I'm good. No, really, I'm good. No, you don't have to go ask for a Sharpie at the bar.
I didn't ask you to sign his leg so he can go make a tattoo out of it later.
Yeah. So Cody's one of our Monday night dinner guys, and so he's been listening to guys of a certain age. So, but you don't
require.
I was talking to somebody at work, and they said, "What is it now? Men of a certain attitude?" And they said, "Well, it is, but the actual name of the title is
that should be our sequel. Men of a certain attitude.
That'll be the spin-off podcast,
or certain aptitude. Men of a certain aptitude. There you go. Who was asking that? Who was asking?
Mike Russell.
Yeah, tell him he's never coming on, so he's not invited. If you can't even get some of the words right, so.
I think we're just a little follow up. Didn't you and I talked a little bit about the Simpsons thing last week? Didn't we? Last episode.
How it was. I think it was on air. How it was set up as the final season.
Yeah, first episode of the season 36, but they set it up as a series finale. Well, I watched it last night as well. Have either of you seen that?
Mm-mm. No.
Again, a little disappointed, and it may be because I'd already read so much about it. But it's interesting. But all the little there's like a bunch of clips from other finales that they include, and it's not really the finale, but they make out like Bart's gonna turn 11 and everything's just gonna crash. All the people are changing, there's spin-offs being suggested, all this stuff, and then at the end during the credits there's anything from Sopranos and Newhart and MASH and all that kind of stuff.
Are they Simpsons versions of those things?
Yes, Simpsons versions. And Conan O'Brien hosts it, and they bring in an AI box to recreate this last episode. So anyway, it just follow up. It's interesting, but didn't overwhelm me with.
And that's available on Disney.
Yeah, I think I watched it on Hulu. Yeah, I watched it on the Hulu.
Speaking of Disney, anybody watching Agatha?
I haven't watched it
not yet.
Oh, it's great.
Is it good?
It is really.
How many episodes are left?
Shouldn't be too many because Halloween's
3, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe 2, 3, I think it is. Yeah, it's really, really good. It is obviously the sequel to WandaVision, but also answers some questions from Multitude of Madness.
Okay.
So,
yeah, I just that and Penguin. I keep saying I need to watch these two. And
Penguin, I really want to watch.
Apparently, Penguin is phenomenal, and it takes place like the week after the Batman.
Okay.
So I have not watched it yet.
Yeah, I haven't watched either one of them yet.
But
I need to do that and call it what? Research for the podcast.
That's right.
Yeah.
Agatha all along is well worth it. To me, it's one of the better Disney plus Marvel pieces in a while.
Good deal.
So, and what's her face who plays Agatha? I can never remember her name.
Catherine Hahn.
She's phenomenal.
Yeah.
She's absolutely phenomenal. So,
and Aubrey Plaza is in this.
Yeah, I like her too.
She's in and out. It's kind of interesting. So, a lot of music in this one, but it's not musical. Yeah.
Speaking of musical, Joker 2 just died on the.
Yeah. I think. Did we talk about that last
bit.
week? Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Boy, I tell you, Joker 2 was no joke. I mean, it was the sequel no one asked for.
Yeah.
And no one's watched.
Yeah.
So I haven't seen the first Joker yet. So.
I never did either. Did you see it?
I love the first one, and I watched this one when it comes out. I'm not going to go to the theater. It may not even be in the theater anymore.
I don't think it is.
I think it's gone.
I think it's gone. So, all right.
That's all right.
It's time for us to go Gone 2. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time around.